Is it easy to start a car company? Is it easy to manage and lead it to success? People like John DeLorean, the creator of the futuristic DMC DeLorean. Alejandro de Tomaso, founder of the production of fantastic supercars like the De Tomaso Pantera. And Roland Gamper, the mind behind the Gamper Apollo, track record holder on Top Gear. Can tell a lot about it. The list of such ventures could be quite long, but among them are those who tried to create nothing less than a revolution in the world of car manufacturing. Henrik Fisker and his supercar Karma. Amazing design and features, but something went wrong. Who is Henrik Fisker? He's a very talented car designer. Masterpieces like the Aston Martin DB9 and the Aston Martin V8 Vantage come from his pen. One of his notable works as a designer was the BMW Z8. This BMW, partly due to its magnificent appearance, became a sensation worldwide and even appeared in a James Bond movie. Note the titanium armor, the display on the windshield, and 6 cup holders. Henrik Fisker founded a body workshop where projects like the Fisker Tramonto, based on the Mercedes SL, and the Fisker Latigo CS, based on the BMW 6 Series, were created. He also designed the concept car Ford Shelby GR1, engineered the motorcycle Viking, and created the design for the Benetti superyacht Fisker 50. In general, this guy combined work on design hits with quite an interesting hobby, and his talent was recognized by many companies, including Tesla. Elon Musk offered Henry Fisker to design the future Tesla Model S, and he agreed. Everything in life was good. Everything was going beautifully. Henrik Fisker became one of the most successful and highly paid designers of today. Many car manufacturers wanted to hire him, but he dreamed of realizing his own unique automotive project. In 2007, Henrik Fisker, along with partners and private investor money, founded the company Fisker Automotive. The goal was to create a unique premium hybrid car with stunning design and fantastic features. Without delay, just 6 months later, at the Detroit Auto Show, a groundbreaking concept car was presented, the Fisker Karma. Yes, the design was truly magnificent. A large and very low silhouette with interesting and appealing proportions. Journalists liked the car, and exhibition visitors were simply delighted. Investments were sought for the project, and with a lot of noise, investors quickly appeared, including Leonardo DiCaprio. Serial production was scheduled for the next year. A beautiful, luxurious hybrid. It was supposed to be made using eco-friendly materials, with a luxurious interior, dynamic performance, and a claimed fuel consumption of just 2.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Celebrities and stars dreamed of such a car. The thing is, they are so-called opinion leaders. People look up to them and listen to them. They should care about ecology, live in eco-houses, wear clothes made from environmentally friendly materials, and advocate for environmental care in every way. In general, be an example for everyone. That's why many stars drive a Toyota Prius hybrid. At one time, even Arnold Schwarzenegger faced serious criticism for his love of monstrous and fuel-guzzling Hummers. It got to the point that Arnie had to convert part of his SUV fleet into electric vehicles. The Toyota Prius hybrid can only be called beautiful and stylish with great effort, but many stars drove it to emphasize their commitment to the eco-movement. Later, Fisker recalled, "When I watched the Oscar ceremony, I saw Leonardo DiCaprio getting out of a Prius and thought that I had to create a car that would surpass the Prius in every way. That was my first inspiration. But as soon as the Fisker Karma concept was shown, a lawsuit from Elon Musk followed immediately. Tesla Motors accused Fisker, who at that time was still working on the design of their electric car, of stealing the concept and technologies. However, the designer, though not without difficulty, managed to defend himself and even received compensation of $1 million from Tesla. Perhaps not the best start, but for Henrik Fisker, victory in court and an additional $1 million were a step in the right direction. Everything to create a fully functional car was ready. A $200 million loan was secured, and additional millions came from private individuals, including famous celebrities. Development centers were opened in California, and assembly plants were set up in Finland. Gradually, step by step, Henrik Fisker was making progress. The hybrid's foundation was surprisingly taken from the military prototype Serve by Quantum Technology. It resembled an Army Humvee, but as a hybrid. The plan was to use a similar scheme. The engine rotates the generator powers the battery, and the battery supplies current to two powerful electric motors. This was a series hybrid. There was no gearbox or driveshaft. The internal combustion engine and the rear wheels were not mechanically connected. The engine was a four-cylinder General Motors engine with 260 horsepower used in cars like the Chevrolet Cobalt SS, Chevrolet HHR SS, Opel GT, Pontiac Solstice, and Saturn Sky Redline. Variants of this engine can be found in the Opel Insignia or Astra OPC, as well as the racing Opel Astra Touring Car Racing, where it had 330 horsepower. The engine was quite good, but it didn't drive the wheels directly. It powered the generator. The entire powertrain of the Fisker Karma was intended to produce over 400 horsepower and 1,330 pound-feet of torque. As Henrik Fisker himself often boasted, the torque figure was higher than that of the Bugatti Veyron, which, by the way, had 16 cylinders and a monstrous displacement. All of this hinted to potential buyers about outstanding performance. This system allowed driving 80 kilometers on electric power alone, and with the engine, it could go 450 kilometers with a predicted fuel consumption of 2.5 liters. The Karma was conceived as a very prestigious, stylish, and luxurious car, not for poor people who wanted to emphasize their care for the environment, the main thesis being environmental concern. The car even featured glass dust made from recycled bottles, giving it a stunning shine. Inserts in the interior are made from natural wood. However, only from wood damaged in California forest fires or from trees submerged in Lake Michigan. In extreme cases, wood trims was made from fallen trees after a hurricane. Global premium brands mostly use very expensive select leather. Not Fisker. The imperfections in the leather, including hides with minor defects, only emphasize the car's environmental friendliness. Orders only came from leather manufacturers who adhere to the 5 animal rights. You may ask, what are these animal rights? The right to satisfy hunger and thirst. The right to be free from discomfort, pain, disease, and injury. The right not to be subjected to strong stress and fear. The right to comfort, and the right to live in conditions as close as possible to natural ones. How does that sound to you? The roof is quite unique. It's solar panels. They enable the onboard electronics to work. For example, to activate fans to circulate air in the cabin when the car is parked in the sun. In general, work was in full swing, and everyone interested in the project eagerly awaited a true masterpiece in the world of cars. Finally, the first Karma rolled out, but not in 2008 as planned, and not in 2009, but only 2 years after the presentation. The first 3,000 wealthy individuals who pre-ordered the car were very dissatisfied. The US government, which provided loans, was also dissatisfied. But these were minor issues. Nothing should tarnish the car's debut. Everyone was eagerly anticipating the buzzworthy novelty. Inspections, test drives, reviews. Almost every automotive publication wanted to get a unique and long-awaited car. Top Gear spoke very highly of the Fisker Karma. "I like driving it. It's very obedient. It's quite nimble. This car is for long journeys. I really enjoy driving it." Many aspects of this car were unusual. For example, the engine exhaust was in the sill behind the front wheel, so that people could hear when the hybrid moved silently on electric power only. A specially designed, fantastic sound emanated from the rear as the car accelerated. The massive 22-inch wheels, as standard, are almost a record in the world of passenger car manufacturing. Everyone admired its good handling, luxurious finish, and, of course, the design. Wherever the Karma appeared, heads turned, marveling at this car. It was truly striking and beautiful. The first to get their hands on these hybrid cars were actors like Leonardo DiCaprio and Ashton Kutcher, politicians Colin Powell and Al Gore, musician Carlos Santana, singer Justin Bieber, and others didn't mind the $96,000 price tag. Fisker announced plans to also release a wagon and convertible, and everything would have been fine. But alongside the enthusiasm, dissatisfaction with the car was growing. The Fisker Karma was a hybrid. It was supposed to get the standard for beauty and revolutionize its class. However, when the cars reached the hands of its owners, they saw a completely different picture. The exquisite sports car turned out to be catastrophically low in quality and unreliable. Owners were constantly complaining about it. Either the electronics would go to sleep, or the mechanics would fail. The multimedia system was painfully slow. Navigation constantly froze. For example, mirrors could simply refuse to fold. There were too many breakdowns, too many of them. Shortly after the car hit the market, the Consumer Reports magazine bought one for testing. The Karma refused to start after only 330 kilometers, after which it was towed for repairs, and the magazine published an article with a devastating verdict, advising against buying the car. The acceleration dynamics were a complete disappointment for many. The car weighed almost 2.5 tons, and its 400 horsepower allowed it to accelerate to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.3 seconds. The result was decent, but purely gasoline competitors did it faster, and the main competitor, the Tesla Model S, scoffed at these numbers. Considering this, and the fact that the declared fuel consumption of 2.5 liters was far from a reality, 9, 10, or even 12 liters per 100 kilometers, the point of having a hybrid car was lost. At a length of 5 meters, the rear seats were very cramped, and the beautiful proportions of the car were to blame. The long hood, sloping roof, very low silhouette, and a massive tunnel in the cabin due to the battery did not add spaciousness. The trunk turned out to be tiny due to the huge electric motors, and the decision with the side exhaust led to gases entering the cabin when the windows were open. Not only the engine, but also, for example, the buttons on the steering wheel and the paddle shifters were taken from the Opel Astra, which for a $100,000 car was not the best choice. Many questions arose about the build quality: poorly fitted body panels, uneven interior elements, crooked stitches on the upholstery, and numerous leaks of various fluids. But most of all, the public was shocked by videos where Karmas were on fire on the roads. Spontaneous combustion forced the company to recall the cars 3 times for the repairs of faulty batteries, fans, and fixing leaks, which could have caused fires. The car's reputation was rapidly declining. It seemed like what else could happen? But apparently, the Karma had its karma spoiled too quickly. One of the strongest blows to the company was dealt by Hurricane Sandy, which ravaged the east coast of the United States. In the port of New York, during the storm's rampage, 16 Karma cars caught fire. The likely cause was the seawater entering the electrical components, leading to a short circuit. As we remember, each car cost at least $100,000. And then, the final chord. Due to frequent recalls, repairs, and warranty replacements, the company that supplied electric batteries for Fisker, unable to withstand losses, went bankrupt. Soon, Henrik Fisker was ousted from his position in his own company. The reason? Disagreements in approaches to business. After that, without a new battery supplier, suffering heavy losses from frequent warranty repairs, and suffering from a rapidly deteriorating reputation. The company, Fisker, declared bankruptcy. Everything was over. Only ruins remained of Fisker's idea. Some wanted to salvage something from the bankrupt company. Former Vice President of General Motors, Bob Lutz, bought 20 bodies with the intention of replacing the hybrid setup with a V8 from the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 with 640 horsepower. He took the first such car for himself. The first were sold for $200,000 each. In the process, Henrik joined this company as the head of the design department to redesign his creation. Strangely enough, he didn't give up. After such a failure, many would want to forget the whole story like a bad dream. He is full of hope and ambition. And the world was in open shock when he announced in 2018 that he wanted to create cars again, revealing the concept of his new project, an electric sedan with butterfly wing doors. Later, the concept of an electric crossover was also presented. An amazing man. All that's left is to wish him luck. In this world, he's gonna need it. So, what happened to the fate of the truly beautiful sports car Karma? The bankrupt production, for $150 million, was bought by the Chinese company Wenzhang. Somehow obtaining the rights to the design and technologies, they released the Karma Revro a few years later. Almost the same hybrid car, but with a 3-cylinder engine from a BMW instead of the GM engine, where the total power of this setup was already 542 horsepower. New multimedia, a new approach, new specifications, and a new price. The idea is alive, and the car has a timeless design. Karma is saved, but Henrik Fisker no longer has any connection to it.